The transition a client goes through from being in a toxic environment to sustaining that freedom is like a butterfly. They start off in a caterpillar, dragging themselves along, being restrained and contained in a cocoon, which would be like the toxic environment. They're very restrained and have no way out until they're able to break it, which would be breaking the cycle.
The clients have the hardest job because it isn't easy to show up. There's so many barriers, and they do.
They feel like they're not good enough for a job. They're not good enough to parent their children.
There's a lot of mental health costs, depression, anxiety, the loss of self-esteem, the loss of self-confidence. You see them lose hope. Unfortunately, that transfers onto children.
And that's what we see. Our survivors not even the courage sometimes to look at you in the eye because they haven't used that skill in a while.
When you're told so often that you aren't good enough, that you will never make it on your own, that this person who's abusive is the only person that will ever care for you. It's the series of little cuts that bring a person's self-esteem down.
The most rewarding for me is just seeing success stories and seeing those smiles on our clients' faces. They are our heroes.
Anytime a client even a little bit believes this isn't forever, I can change this, I don't have to live through this, I don't deserve this, that's a success. When a client comes to our classes and say, I never realized what I was going through was abuse, the insight is success because you can't go back to not knowing. Now you know, so now it's, what do I do?
When they focus on themselves, attending support groups, attending therapy sessions, I see an empowerment on them.
You see them actively changing while they're with you in your program. They start to take better care of themselves. They start to reach out and increase their social circle, something that they didn't do maybe because there was so much isolation in their relationship. And you see them gain confidence. And that's always so beautiful. Then it becomes creating all of these experiences where they can succeed, where they can see that they do have power to reverse these kind of negative thought processes that they go through that are false. And what we see in the end is a person who's able to live free of the abuse, who gives their children the opportunity to live free of abuse.
Seeing our clients out in the community and living their normal lives, and at some point we've seen them down in their worst moments in their lives, but with the help and the assistance from us, they were able to get away from it and live a normal, healthy life.
Can you imagine a bunch of healthy people living in healthy relationships, experiencing what it's like to be loved, what it's like to be in a partnership where the person really has your best interest? For kids to grow up not having witnessed domestic violence, and for them to understand what healthy relationships are like, going into their own relationships, that we don't have to worry about them, that they'll be happy. And that's eventually what everybody wants.